The Dark Weavers, the Forbidden Refection. Tales by Living Goddess long before the city swallowed the red roads. There was a village no traveller stayed in after sunset. It had no name on maps, only whispers on tongues. The elders called it UlO, the House of Spirits. Children born there were watched closely, for it was believed some arrived, not alone. Beauty was one of them. She was born during an eclipse, when the sun bled into darkness and birds fell silent mid-flight. The midwife who delivered her refused to touch her again. She did not cry, the woman said. She smiled. As Beauty grew, strange things followed her. When her mother braided her hair, the plaits would finish themselves. When women gathered to weave styles for festivals, Beauty's fingers moved faster than sight. But sometimes her hands did not move alone. Her mother once caught her at midnight, sitting before a bowl of water, braiding her own hair while staring into the reflection. Except her reflection had more hands than she did. Her mother smashed the bowl and ran to the shrine. The priest spoke a warning. She walks with the 7 sisters of the scalp, ancient weaving spirits who live between hair strands. They grant beauty, speed, and perfection, but they feed on heads. To seal the spirits away, mirrors were forbidden around Beauty. For mirrors, the priest said, were doors, but hunger always finds doors. When Beauty turned 19, the village woke to screams. 7 girls were found collapsed, their hair fully braided, though no one had touched them. Their scalps bled in perfect circular patterns. Beauty vanished that same night. She arrived in the open city like mist, silent, untraceable. She rented the largest salon on the busiest street and named it simply Beauty's Touch. Her rule was absolute: no mirrors while I work. People laughed at first, until they saw her work. Impossible styles finished in under an hour. No mistakes, no pain complaints, at least none spoken aloud. Because those who felt the pain never returned to complain. Her salon grew famous. But spiritually sensitive people avoided the place. They said the air inside felt thick, like breathing inside someone else's dream. Ivy entered that dream unwillingly. A preacher's daughter, raised on fasting and scripture, she spent her days evangelizing street to street. Her friend Cynthia dragged her to the salon before the church harvest. "You can't be plaiting village styles for harvest," Cynthia joked. The moment Ivy stepped inside, her spirit recoiled. The lights were bright, yet corners looked dark. The chairs were many, yet it felt crowded. As Cynthia's hair was braided, Ivy heard whispers like wind moving through dry corn husks. She prayed silently. Then it was her turn. Hands from beyond. The pain began instantly, sharp, deep, everywhere, not like fingers pulling hair, but like nails digging into her scalp from different directions. She gasped, "Madam, it hurts." Beauty's smile stretched too wide. "I am fast." Ivy tried to endure, but her spirit sight was opening. She saw shadows moving behind Beauty, bending, weaving. She looked around. No mirrors, none on the walls. None on the tables. Only when Cynthia finished did Beauty pull a small ancient mirror from beneath her skirt cloth and hand it to her. Ivy's chest tightened. That mirror was not ordinary. It was framed in dark wood, carved with tiny faces, screaming silently. When Ivy asked for it, Beauty's reaction was violent. "Mirror Kay, did they not warn you?" The salon went cold, but Ivy had already brought out her phone. She flipped the camera, looked, and screamed loud enough to shake the street. She fell from the chair, scrambling backward. On her head were 7 blackened hands, long, skeletal, feminine, braiding at impossible speed. Their fingers passed through Beauty's arms, as though she were only a vessel. Their faces hovered faintly in the air, women with hollow eyes and braided tongues. Ivy ran outside, collapsing in prayer, speaking fire-tongued scriptures. Cynthia rushed after her. "You're embarrassing me! What did you see?" Through tears, Ivy whispered, 7 spirits feeding on heads. Crowds gathered, phones came out, someone forced their own camera toward a client still seated inside. The spirits were caught. Faint but visible, 7 figures hunched behind Beauty. The moment the mirror light and phone screens reflected them fully, they shrieked. Not human shrieks, ancient, furious. Beauty began convulsing. She clawed at her scalp, screaming in the old village tongue. "They promised me perfection. They said I would never be poor. They said heads were offerings." Braids unraveled violently. Invisible hands fought to stay attached to her, but the mirrors, the reflections, the exposure, it was breaking the pact. As the spirits were torn away, they did not leave peacefully. They dragged pieces of her mind with them. Beauty's hair turned white in minutes. Her fingers twisted backward like broken weaving sticks. She laughed, then cried, then laughed again. "They're still braiding," she screamed, clawing the air. "Can't you see them? They're hungry. Give them heads." She began attacking her own hair, ripping chunks out, trying to feed the unseen sisters. Authorities took her away that night. She never spoke sense again. In the asylum, she sits on the floor, braiding invisible hair endlessly, fingers moving at supernatural speed. Nurses say she screams if she sees her reflection, because in every mirror, the 7 sisters stand behind her, waiting, still hungry. Beauty's salon remains abandoned. But sometimes at night, passers-by hear braiding sounds, fast, wet, bone against scalp. And if you look through the dusty window long enough, you might see 7 shadows, working, waiting for the next head.